This is a stimulus check update and daily news report. Got some important updates to share with you. Lawmakers are proposing a new $1,000 hazard pay check for certain workers. I'll give you the details on that. Fourth stimulus check is the new payment possible after the Omicron increase. And a child tax credit 2022 double $3,600 stimulus payment may be decided in January as IRS letter sent. Also, I'll give you the latest of what's going on with the Build Back Better and if Joe Manchin has abandoned that. President Biden gave a big speech in Georgia about voting rights. Also, inflation is on the rise. I'll let you know what the Fed said about that and how everything is getting affected. I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below. So this year's income tax filing season starts January 24th, and the IRS says it's going to be a frustrating one. So that means you won't be able to file your taxes until January 24th if you're waiting for a missing stimulus check or want to get the rest of your child tax credit. January 24th is the day to do that. I'll give you some other updates along the way before that. The reason why they're saying it's a frustrating one, there's going to be a lot of delays. IRS, I guess, is short again, and there should be a lot of delays for 2021 tax returns. So I'll give you more updates on that as we get closer. It's about 2 weeks away. Biden says he supports changing filibuster rule to pass voting right bills. So he gave a big speech yesterday in Georgia. Here is a quick clip explaining what happened and what we know.
Peter Alexander is at the White House. And Peter, the president's call to action could be tested very soon. Walk us through it.
Yeah, Lester, that's right. The top Senate Democrat says that he'll call a critical vote on this as soon as tomorrow. President Biden needs Democrats to be united, but even before he left Washington today, he was dealt a major blow by a member of his own party. President Biden tonight casting this new voting rights push as a critical turning point for America.
Will we choose democracy over autocracy, light over shadows, justice over injustice? I know where I stand.
Framing today's effort through the lens of the civil rights movement, the president in Atlanta first visiting Martin Luther King Jr.'s grave, as well as the church where he preached. Asked if he has the votes to pass the bills.
Keep the faith. I ask every elected official in America, how do you want to be remembered? You want to be on the side of Dr. King or George Wallace?
Despite threats of Republican retaliation, President Biden tonight endorsed a major change to long-standing Senate rules that would end the 60-vote requirement to avoid a filibuster, specifically on voting rights, so that Democrats can approve that legislation alone with just 50 votes.
I support changing the Senate rules, whichever way they need to be changed to prevent a minority of senators from blocking action on voting rights.
It's a reversal for the president, who, as a senator, spent decades defending the filibuster.
At its core, the filibuster is not about stopping a nominee or a bill. It's about compromise and moderation.
But moderate Democrat Joe Manchin earlier reiterated his opposition to changing those Senate rules, which would sink the Democrats' effort.
We need some good rule changes to make the place work better, but getting rid of the filibuster doesn't make it work better.
Notably absent today, top Georgia Democrat Stacey Abrams citing a scheduling conflict. The Democratic legislation includes requiring all states to allow mail-in voting, making Election Day a national holiday, and loosening state voter ID requirements. Republicans accuse Democrats of orchestrating fake hysteria.
There is no widespread effort to suppress minority voting rights in America. It's non-existent. It doesn't exist, and this has nothing to do with this. This has to do with power.
The president gambling on a new campaign for voting rights legislation without the votes right now to make it happen.
So what's your opinion on the voting rights, changing the filibuster, voting rights in general, this whole thing? Let me know your thoughts on that. So this seems to be taking priority before the Build Back Better plan. They're voting for the voting rights legislation on Monday the 17th, which is also Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So is Manchin abandoning Build Back Better? I think the better question is, are the Democrats abandoning the Build Back Better because Joe Manchin is abandoning the Build Back Better? So at this point, Build Back Better is on the back burner. No news on that as of recently, because all of their focus on the Democrats in Congress, their focus is just on the voting rights. When it comes to stimulus check news, fourth stimulus check, is the new payment possible after the Omicron increase. So we had record highs over the past few days. If we look at the chart here, we could see that we had another 1 million case day. If I could get to it. Where was it? All right, so on the 10th, 1.4 million cases, and then yesterday on the 11th, 767,000 cases. So if you look at this chart here, it is just huge, and it's just going up and up and up. So is there going to be a fourth stimulus check, though? To answer that question, at this point, doesn't seem likely. There needs to be something more serious. I think if Omicron had more severe symptoms and then probably a lot more shutdowns would have happened. But because Omicron is on the rise, but the symptoms aren't as bad or people aren't getting affected as much, that's probably the reason why we're not seeing more talks for a fourth stimulus check. So not yet, but I'll keep you updated. Oregon lawmakers revive proposal for stimulus payments to essential workers. So what's going on here is a new form of hazard pay. So Oregon Democrats are reviving a proposal to provide essential workers who stayed on the job through the pandemic with a one-time stimulus payment of up to $1,000. So basically the way they're working this out is if someone worked at least 20 hours per week in person from April to December 2020, made less than $22 an hour or $42,900 per year, and haven't already received the bonus or hazard pay from the state working during that period. So if you're in Oregon and you meet those requirements, you get a $1,000 check. So what they said here, in these circumstances where they were asked to show up on the lines where we call them heroes, our low-wage workers, the hardest hit, did not receive additional compensation or hazard pay for showing up to these jobs. So it looks like there is going to be another form of hazard pay for Oregon workers. But this is for 2020, April to December of 2020. So interesting how they're going to give it for back then and revive that. There may be other ones. I wanted to get your opinion on this. So there's been a lot of articles like this. I've just kind of been avoiding it because I don't really like the drama, but I want to get your opinion on this. So New York inmates received $34 million in federal stimulus checks. Is this okay? Should inmates have received stimulus checks? I know they're talking a lot about the Boston bomber. He received a stimulus check. They're trying to get that back, as well as inmates across the country. So let me ask you, should inmates have gotten a stimulus check and get to keep it or give it back? Let me know your thoughts on that. Also, Michigan drivers. So Michigan drivers slated to get $400 per vehicle refunds by May 9th. So I think I mentioned this in the past. So if you are in Michigan and you own a vehicle, you get $400 per vehicle. This is from the insurance companies and looks like it's coming out by May 9th. So looks like a few more months of that, 4 more months. Then this article, Child Tax Credit 2022 update, double $3,600 stimulus payments may decided in January as IRS letter sent. So what this is talking about is if it may be decided in January if the Build Back Better plan with the extended child tax credit is going to go on for 2022, then they'll probably make up for it in February. This is assuming that the Build Back Better plan is passed in January, which may or may not be the case. January of 2022 or January of 2023, the Build Back Better is completely stalled, mainly because of Joe Manchin. And Joe Manchin wants to cut the child tax credit. So there could be a possibility that the Build Back Better plan passes, but the child tax credit could be cut because that would be the only way that they could pass it with Joe Manchin's support. So I'll keep you updated with that. When it comes to inflation, inflation is still surging as some Democrats see one culprit, greedy companies. So Democrats are blaming greedy companies as prices continue to rise for food, utilities, healthcare, gas prices. Everything just seems to be going up, and a lot of them are saying that it's the company's fault. So what Elizabeth Warren says is we can't overlook the role that concentrated corporate power has played in creating conditions for price gouging. Basically blaming companies for raising the prices when they didn't have to. Although grocery stores are saying that farmers are raising the prices, truckers are raising the prices, and then those food prices are passed on to the consumers. So I guess the prices are trickling. I don't know how to explain it. But anyway, here is an update on the inflation.
Well, Shep, Wall Street at least already believes the Fed will raise interest rates next year. And today, Fed Chair Jay Powell made the case to lawmakers in Washington as well. He told them 2022 is going to be the year that the Fed starts pulling back its support for the nation's recovery.
The economy no longer needs or wants the very highly accommodative policies that we've had in place to deal with the pandemic and the aftermath. So that's what that's really about. We're really just going to be moving over the course of this year to a policy that is closer to normal, but it's a long road to normal from where we are.
Now, Powell also warned that inflation doesn't just mean you have to pay more for the things you buy. It could also hurt the job market if the Fed has to stomp on the brakes to slow down the economy. Still, he committed to doing what it takes to rein in rising prices.
If we see inflation persisting at high levels longer than expected, then we will, if we have to raise interest rates more over time, we will. We will use our tools to get inflation back.
Now, politically, several Republican senators today committed to supporting Powell's renomination. That's important because at least 4 Democratic senators now say they plan to vote against him. But Shep, Powell was confirmed the first time with strong bipartisan support, so it's likely he'll get confirmed again with backing from both Republicans and Democrats.
Inflation is definitely real, and it doesn't look like it's going down anytime soon. What are your thoughts? Are things going to go down? Are things getting really tough with the rising prices for you? Let me know your thoughts on all that down in the comments below. And that is all the stimulus news that I have for you today to hopefully cheer you up a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, so my name is Bella. This is the tip of the day. If you make a mistake, then it's okay. You learn from your mistake, it makes you a better person. So it's okay. It's okay. We still love you. We like you a lot. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. So we got to go to the beach the other day. We had sort of a half a day of nice weather where it was in, I think, the 50s, maybe low 60s. So we got to go to the beach, hang out there. We used to, during the summer, we go to the beach all the time, but it's been a little cold here in South Carolina. I guess relatively cold compared to where you are. If you're in the north, somewhere in the country, cold means something much different to you than me. Anyways, if you want to check out my latest video from my other channels, you could click up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.